Hey everybody, Jeff Joyner here. And you may know that I do professional speaking and training all around the country. I have done tens of thousands of speaking events for thousands of organizations all around the country. What you may not know is that I actually started my speaking career way back when I was in college. I was on a speech team and I did, they called it forensics speaking. And I did events like informative speaking and persuasive speaking and rhetorical criticism. Well, recently found some old VHS videos, and I did not know that this video existed. My son Logan, who's very tech savvy, helped me convert these to digital. And oh my goodness, he was watching this video. This is me speaking 35 years ago. And when I was first starting to be a professional speaker, and Logan watched these videos. He goes, "It's so weird seeing like your voice coming out of a young body." And so I got some of these videos. This one is me doing informative speaking. The video starts off a little sketchy, and then it gets better in terms of quality. But if you like this, I got some other ones I can share. Let me know what you think. But this is me doing informative speaking 35 years ago.
This is my third year competing in forensics. I'm a senior, comm arts major at Cedarville. This is my third year of doing informative speaking. My first year I chose a topic on Velcro and gave a speech on all of the uses of Velcro in our society. Last year I did a speech on barcodes and how barcodes also are used often in our society. And this year I'm doing a speech on magnetism. My philosophy in doing informative speaking is that you should either pick something that your audience knows very little about and inform them on that topic, or find something like I have done the last 3 years, find a topic that everyone is aware of and yet may not know a lot about it. Most people know what a barcode is, but maybe don't know how often it's used and what it's used for. So I've done that this year with informative and with magnetism. The goal in informative speaking is to inform and educate and teach the audience about a topic. You want to have a lot of quotations, as many varied sources as you can, and just try to inform the audience to the best of your ability. So this is an informative speech on the topic of magnetism. Last summer, I ran into some trouble when I accidentally erased the magnetic stripe on my Visa card by putting it on my desk next to a magnet. My father, in his usual fatherly wisdom, told me, "Jeff, magnetism is like fire. Under control, it can be an invaluable ally, but used improperly, it can be very destructive." Thanks, Dad. Fortunately for us, magnetism is usually our ally. We harness its magical properties on a daily basis when we use credit cards, audio and videotapes, and even computer disks. But today's scientists are starting to discover that the awesome power of magnetism can also be harnessed to help solve problems, improve technologies, and even save lives. Today I'd like to discuss one of nature's most powerful elemental forces, magnetism, by focusing on how it's changing the world of transportation, revolutionizing the field of medicine, and finally what you can expect from magnetism in the near future. One of the most challenging problems facing transportation experts is that of airport overcrowding. Although the airplane has served us well, our air transportation system is operating beyond the reasonable limits of its capacity. Chicago's O'Hare Airport alone tallies over 12 million hours of passenger delays annually, the equivalent of 1,400 people standing idle around the clock. And the Federal Aviation Administration has calculated the cost of these delays to exceed $5 billion a year. Our air transportation system is choking on its own success. The most reasonable solution to this mounting problem lies in the seemingly sci-fi technology of magnetically levitated trains. Simply called maglev, this technology is a combination of railroad, automobile, and airplane. A maglev vehicle is essentially a fuselage without wings that travels along a magnetized guideway at speeds up to 300 miles per hour. A maglev train actually floats in midair, about 8 to 10 inches off the track, supported by the force of immensely powerful magnets. And it is propelled by riding along on an electromagnetic wave. Alternating the current in a set of magnets in the guideway changes its polarity, and thus the way that it interacts with the train. As a result, the train is alternately pushed and pulled along. Unhindered by any friction except wind resistance, maglev trains can obtain speeds unheard of in ordinary land travel. According to Kenji Fuji, chief engineer of Japan Railway's maglev laboratories, as quoted in the September 15, 1990 issue of the Japan Economic Journal, theoretically, we can take it beyond 700 miles per hour. Now, for a generation of Americans born to air travel, a move toward rail may seem like a step back. But according to Joseph Vranich of the High Speed Rail Association, for medium distances of 100 to 600 miles, maglev trains can best commercial airlines in cost, efficiency, comfort, and hassle. And the other advantages of maglev are incredible. According to a report issued last summer by Congress's Maglev Technology Advisory Committee, the use of maglev trains would reduce the emission of air pollutants, since maglev trains put out only a quarter as much carbon dioxide as airplanes, while consuming only a quarter as much energy per mile. And according to Issues in Science and Technology, spring 1990, maglev trains are virtually immune to adverse weather, which is the single largest cause of airline delays. Now, as you might imagine, the race to get maglev to market has become a sprint. Equally unsurprising are the contestants, Japan and Germany. Each country now has full-scale, fully operational maglev systems. But maglev technology is now becoming a reality in the United States. Construction is now underway on a maglev system that will connect many of Florida's major tourist attractions, and a maglev track that will connect Las Vegas with Southern California. Soon, many other crowded corridors will follow. According to Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan, maglev will define the coming century in much the same way that the railroad defined the last one, and the automobile and airplane have defined this one. But the modern applications of magnetism reach far beyond the realm of transportation. Magnetism is also being harnessed to help revolutionize the field of medicine. 20 years ago, medical mysteries generally invited exploratory surgery. Doctors could poke and prod all they wanted to, but there was no way except X-rays to see inside the body without removing its cover. And X-rays are blind to everything except the skeleton. Well, today's physician can lay bare the insides of the body without surgery through the revolutionary technology of magnetic resonance imaging. According to Dr. Seymour Perry of Georgetown University's Institute for Health Policy Analysis, in the last decade, there has been more progress using magnetic resonance imaging than any other single area of medicine. The list of diseases in which patients stand to benefit from this imaging technology include cancer, stroke, and heart disease. A patient undergoing MRI is placed inside of a large donut-shaped magnet. The magnet is so large that it has its own room, and often its own building in the hospital grounds, and is strong enough to yank a metal chair across the room. The magnet aligns all of the hydrogen nuclei in the body along its fields. Those are then knocked out of place by a radio frequency pulse. As they bounce back into position, they emit a slightly altered radio frequency. This is magnified millions of times and computer converted into a picture, much like that of an X-ray. This is an actual MRI scan. I have had it converted to a positive image so you can better visualize its effectiveness. One of the greatest benefits of using MRI is that it can distinguish a cancerous lump from a non-cancerous one. This is an actual MRI scan of a normal human brain. The other three are different angles of a brain containing a cancerous tumor that will need immediate surgery. But cancer detection isn't the only application of this technology. Dr. Donald Platty, head of neurology at the University of British Columbia, is using MRI to distinguish the abnormalities of multiple sclerosis. Another way in which magnetism is being utilized in modern medicine is in the field of biomagnetism, the measurement of magnetic fields emitted by living tissue. Doctors and scientists are using biomagnetic techniques to study heart defects, Parkinson's disease, stroke, and even schizophrenia. But it's been most effective in the study and treatment of epilepsy. Biomagnetism scans the brain and provides doctors with the exact location of malfunctioning brain tissue, resulting in safe, effective surgery. It allows us the fantasy of being able to read the mind, albeit in the form of seeing the brain, both structurally and functionally. And one of the most amazing applications of magnetism to medicine is being pioneered at the University of Florida. According to Issues in Science, March 1990, doctors there are using magnets to pull cancer cells out of bone marrow. Since cancer cells contain tiny beads of iron oxide, a powerful magnet can pull them out of healthy bone marrow where they can be safely zapped by radiation. This technique has been incredibly effective in treating childhood cancer and is now being studied as a treatment for many types of leukemia. So now that you understand how magnetism is changing the transportation and medical industries, let's focus on what you can expect from magnetism in the near future. Imagine a car that combines the comfort of a Cadillac with the handling of a Porsche. Well, according to Design News, March 31st, 1990, that's exactly what automakers will be able to create using a new active suspension system based on magnetic principles rather than hydraulics. This new system offers vast advantages over current systems. To the consumer, it promises a safer, smoother ride, provided by increased ride control and a faster reaction time to changing road surface and driving conditions. Engineers at NASA are using similar techniques to create friction-free magnetic bearings that actually float in midair, eliminating cooling, wear, or lubricants. Now, these bearings will be used primarily in outer space, where periodic maintenance is impossible. But according to Design News, March 20th, 1990, they will also be used in the propulsion motors of American submarines, where the lack of metal-to-metal contact will provide a noiseless sub that can escape enemy sonar detection. But that's not the only military application of magnetism. By the year 1993, most U.S. tanks will be equipped with electromagnetic railguns. Compared to conventional weapons, these new guns promise longer range, greater penetrating power, and smaller, more easily stored rounds. These smaller guns will allow for smaller tanks that can shoot in any direction, including straight up, where they can gun down enemy aircraft. These guns operate by generating a brief but powerful electrical pulse. This creates an incredibly strong magnetic field that can launch projectiles at phenomenal speeds. According to the Pentagon's Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, electromagnetic guns can shoot projectiles 2 miles farther than any conventional weapon, at speeds approaching 2.5 miles per second. According to Mr. Harry Fair of DARPA, this technology would allow us to fight outnumbered and win. So today we've discussed one of nature's most powerful elemental forces, magnetism, by focusing on how it's changing the world of transportation, revolutionizing the field of medicine, and helping to shape our future. Hopefully you now realize that magnets are good for far more than holding memos to your refrigerator. Fortunately for us, magnetism can be and is an invaluable ally. An ally that doctors and scientists are learning more about every day and applying more and more often to help change, improve, and even save the lives of people around the world. And fortunately for me, Visa offers extra credit cards at no additional cost.